Act speaks of 5, not 3. And therefore, as we speak today, we have no functional commission. No functional commission. And it's, what we are talking about, either the referendum or what is called boundaries review coming up in 2019, I'm afraid it will not happen. And what surprises me is that everybody is quiet. 3 commissioners, other than Roslyn Akombe, resigned. One said she resigned by immediately effect. I don't know what she meant, but she has resigned. The court says the resignation didn't go to the president, and then Chebukati says they can't go to office. So, Senator Kilonzo, then on that same tune, don't you not think Parliament should be more concerned with the IEBC right now, or whether we should, rather than whether we should even be going for a referendum? It should have been a priority. But it's not. That is, what did he say about my good friend and senior Weda? That we're dealing with the wrong issues when we come to election date. We're dealing with the wrong issues. We're talking about the wrong things. So is it pure greed or arrogance? It's called deceit. It's called deceit, where the snake cheated Eve in the Garden of Eden. It is called deceit. We are lying to Kenyans. We must fix IEBC. In the nomination, when we set up this law, where we put church leaders, Ambrose Weda is, I think, a deacon now, are you? We set up a criteria that was only going to last for this commission. Right. So if we are going to replace the 4 commissioners who left office, we must set up another criteria. We are not talking about this issue. It is wrong. It is deceitful. We are lying to Kenyans. So Liz, do you think that we have even the money itself, the cost of a referendum to go through it?
Now, even before we go to the money, who will be carry this out? It should be IEBC. And IEBC, the moment the commissioners resigned, within that 1 week, constitutionally and according to the law, the president should have gazetted. And what else? They should then have gazetted the positions as vacant and then gotten or appointed commissioners. That is gone through the process to get the right people in place. So that from there now we could be talking about the referendum, because referendum has to be carried out by the same IEBC, and it's in a mess. The other day, Chiloba was, I understand he was fired. Fired because I don't know how, because the commissioners are 3. In terms of quorum, there's an issue. And you find there are some serious, complicated matters that need to be handled as soon as possible if we are to say, like, as Kenyans, we are moving somewhere in regards to all these issues. Why do you think President Uhuru Kenyatta and his counterpart Raila Odinga are so quiet on the electoral body?
I have always said this, and I repeat, that the IEBC is a good thing for candidates. It depends. With a prepared IBC is a dangerous IBC. It cannot be manipulated. So you wait until they don't have time. You give them a year to election. Some commissioners don't even know where the toilets are and where the Makwini is and where Kisumu is. Then you tell them, conduct the election. Then you can gerrymander with elections the way you want. So you don't expect President Uhuru to be worried about it. I think it is only those who are going to be candidates like Honorable Kalonzo, Honorable Ruto, Honorable Raila. They're the ones who should be, who is going to manipulate this. So looking at it, I don't think it is one of the president's priorities. And then Chebukati also is having a good salary. So he has to gerrymander, bring in some quasi-explanations as a lawyer to continue surviving. Because a lawyer will always get you something you want to hear. If you look at it today, we don't have an IBC. We don't have it. And secondly, the currency through which they trade is called credibility. Nothing else. Credibility, the combatants just want to say, do we trust them? Do we trust you? Now, when you have, the CEO is gone, there are 3 commissioners, the others who are saying they resigned, they didn't resign, they are in, they are out, the chairman saying I'm registering. You can see even the registration of voters, people are saying, what are you doing? We don't trust you in the first place, please don't. So if we are going to have a stable Kenya, and the president is hearing this, we need to fix the IEBC now. Then set it in place. They have about 2 to 3 years to organize everything so that when we go for elections, competence are over, court cases are finished, everybody is a good umpire. Otherwise now, we will be asking who stands to benefit from a disorganized IEBC.
All right.
It must be a candidate who is incumbent.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to close off State of the Nation, and one point for everyone in respect that we need to talk about what Weda had earlier mentioned, the fact that the boss himself, Mr. President Uhuru Kenyatta, earlier this week on Tuesday, my memory serves me right, at Strathmore said that his cabinet secretaries are not working. When you have an employer, when you have your boss saying that his employees, because cabinet secretaries, we don't vote for them, they're handpicked by the president himself, are not on the ground doing the work. If the president himself is quote-to-quote frustrated, where does that leave the common Kenyan when cabinet secretaries within certain dockets are not doing what it is that they should be doing? Where I'll begin with you as I go down.
I think the president was being populist, trying to throw the problem to us of people he hired. People, and most of them are from home, either from Mheshimiwa Ruto's home or his home. So I think he has a dilemma in firing them. So he's saying, now what do I do with these guys and so on. But President, we only have 3 years for you to deliver on the 4 agenda, give us a good legacy. Those of us who supported you want to go back home and say, we gave you the man and you have seen. Please get to work. If somebody's not working, fire them, hire people, ask Senator Abdullah Kilonzo to resign from his Senate, make him cabinet secretary, let him work.